And actually, the whole idea of lighting the fire, which we will do soon at this evening, is kind of a story, problematic story. It has nothing to do actually with the counting of the Omer. The thing is that now that the sun is set and the stars up in the sky, we are now in the 18th day of the month of Iyar. Chai be'Iyar, Yudchet be'Iyar, the 18th day of Iyar. And this is the day, according to tradition, on which Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the great mysticist and the spiritual leader of the Bar Kokhba rebellion, died. And therefore, for many generations, the only fire on this night to be lit is the one in the mountain of Meron in the Upper Galilee, where the big tragedy happened 2 years ago. And hopefully without any tragedies, this big medura at the alleged gravesite of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai will be lit tonight again. One of the biggest religious events in this land. Hundreds of thousands of people will be there in these 24 hours. The second largest, and some will say the first biggest religious event to happen in Israel just happened 2 weeks ago in Laylat al-Qadr in Haram al-Sharif at the Har HaBayit, right, in the big mosque, where it's the night where, according to the Muslim tradition, Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad, received the first version of the Quran. And on that night, again, hundreds of thousands of Muslims gather in the mountain here in Jerusalem. This year, that night was very peaceful. Hopefully, this night will be peaceful as well for all of us. I said before that what we're going to light in a few moments, the medura, is also called a kumzitz, and that is from the Yiddish, come sit with us. And there is another event during the year, our Jewish Hebrew year, related to fire, but with the opposite message around it. If you've ever learned the stories that tell why was the temple destroyed, maybe you've already learned the story about Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. Here in Jerusalem, there were two people with a very similar name. One was called Kamsa, and the other was called Bar Kamsa. And a person whose name is not told had a big dinner party in his house, and he told his servant to invite Kamsa, who was his friend. And the servant made a mistake and went to the house of Bar Kamsa and invited him. So Bar Kamsa arrived, and the person celebrating was very mad. What are you doing here? You're not my friend. Go away. He told him, kum se, get up and leave. And the uninvited guest said, listen, I'm already here. Don't embarrass me in front of everyone. And he said, no, go out. He said, I'll pay you for whatever I eat. No, get up and leave. Kum se. Said, I'll pay you for the entire meal. Just don't embarrass me. Don't send me away. And he said, kum se. Get up and leave. And so that person, Bar Kamsa, got up and left. And what annoyed him even more and insulted him even more is that the room was filled with important people and the elders of Jerusalem, and they all saw it happening, and no one said anything. They knew what was going on. They knew how he was humiliated, and they allowed it to happen. And that person went to the Romans and found a reason to tell them the Jews are planning on starting a rebellion against you. And that led finally to the destruction of the temple and the exile from the land of Israel. So in a way, by sitting together, people who were formally invited and people who maybe weren't, sitting together around the fire, again, around the fire, and instead of telling someone, get up and leave, kum tzeh, we'll tell them in another Jewish language, kum zitz, come and sit with us. So maybe around the fire, but instead of sending out, welcoming in, this night is some sort of a tikkun, amendment to what led to the destruction of the temple. So we are here gathered, people who feel here at home and people who will hopefully remember this as a place where they felt at home, to celebrate together around the fire with singing, with good food. We'll count the Omer now.
הנני מוכן ומזומן, הנני מוכן ומזומן, הנני מוכן ומזומן, לקיים מצוות עשה, עשה לקיים מצוות עשה, כמו שכתוב בתורה, הנני מוכן ומזומן, כמו שכתוב בתורה, הנני מוכן ומזומן, וספרתם לכם ממחרת השבת, הנני מוכן ומזומן, מיום אביכם את עומר התנופה, הנני מוכן ומזומן. 7 שבתות תמימות תהיינה, עד ממחרת השבת השביעית יספרו 50 יום. ויהי נועם אדוני אלוהינו עלינו, ומעשה ידינו כוננה עלינו, ומעשה ידינו כוננהו. למנות ימינו, למנות ימינו, למנות ימינו, כן הודה ונביא לבב חוכמה. למנות ימינו, כן הודה ונביא לבב חוכמה. ונביא לבב חוכמה. ונביא לבב חוכמה.
Now if you don't remember exactly, I'll say the blessing and the counting, and then you repeat the blessing and the counting as well. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר. היום 33 יום, שהם 4 שבועות ו5 ימים לעומר.
שקידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר. היום 30 יום, שהם 4 שבועות ו5 ימים.
עבדי זמן, עבדי עבדים, הם עבד אדוני הוא לבד חופשי. ברוך המקום שהוציאנו מעבדות מצרים, וציוונו לספור 50 יום למען קרב אותנו לעבודתו. הוא יפתח ליבנו בתורתו לעובדו ויראה כימי עולם וכשנים קדמוניות. Sing us a song, you're the harmonica man.
יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, לעם ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו והכל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום.
זה המקום סתם, תרביק את זה ככה, בקצה. שם. רוצה עוד אחד?
כן.
על האצבעות שלי.
אני יכולה לעשות.
זה לעשות לבד?
עומר, באים אליו.